A new intro on splash screen marks the beginning of a new era here in Formula Sprint 2. After 56-day hiatus since the last time GPVWC held any live racing footage back in Macau of any sort, with the start of the 2026 season sees more than just a fresh coat of paint, with changes up and down throughout the grid, and no one has that been more evident than Formula Sprint 2 for 2026, with the biggest changes of the grids as 16 teams make their preparations en route to the season opener in Melbourne in 28 days' time. With the driver transfers, new drivers, and new teams, we'll go over through this session. We'll just change on who is where for the next 2 hours. Fabian Jungbluth is with us here in the broadcast directing side of things, and joining alongside me here in this pre-season testing here for Formula Sprint 2, it is Formula Sprint 2 season expert Lorenzo Eterovic-Funcic. Hello, Lorenzo. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well, thank you very much. And it has already been 56 days since Macau. It feels like more somehow, but it also feels like less. But nevertheless, as you said, just under a month until we go to Melbourne for the first FS2 race of the season and the first career ladder race of the season. And yeah, as you said, a massive shake-up all throughout the career ladder. We've had mainstays leave even quite recently as well, but that's a story for a different series and a different set of commentators as opposed to us, which, yes, we're not going to be quite Ross, we're not going to be quite Toby and Alex, but hopefully we're as entertaining as the action the previous year, and hopefully this year as well. But yeah, quite a massive shake-up in FS2 for this year's grid. We had, well, FS2 always has 16 teams, and we've only had, I think it was 6 stay. We've had 3 move up, and we've had 4 leave, meaning we had 7 new entries. So that was, my math is not mathing right now. Yeah, we had 9 teams stayed. So that's almost half the grid gone.
Yep. And the teams that have stayed as well, not all of them have retained their lineups as well. As we mentioned, we will go through over who's who and where's where. The 2 hours kicks off though at the Autodromo Internazionale del Mugello here in Tuscany, Italy, known for its very scenic landscapes and its very technical, challenging corners here. It is very good ground to really put these Formula Sprint 2 machineries to their limits. Same body, same as last season, although the driving characteristics has changed compared to 2025. So those that are making their return may be a bit familiar with it, but we'll have to learn a new way of driving. So that's what Mugello is really important with, and also all the testing that has come with it. Another big introduction here for Formula Sprint 2 is the DRS. The DRS will make its return to Formula Sprint 2, and we're going to see it come into effect in Melbourne as we get to witness, even now here during this pre-season testing, we will witness some DRS action from these drivers here, but it's a very big implementation, Lorenzo, especially when we consider places like Hungaroring maybe could have been what could have been as much of a difference with a DRS here. So we're going to see that in place here for 2026.
No, yeah, absolutely. DRS is something that drivers have been asking for the entirety of 2025, if I'm not wrong, and there was quite a lot of testing with the cars leading up to the pre-season testing, the official one today. Many drivers who had tried the cars were suggesting changes on things like slipstream and DRS strength and dirty air. And I think that with everything that's been done with the cars, as you said, updated driving physics, and I think this is, as good as the cars can be, really. And I'm just hoping that we provide some good racing this year. And I think with the grid that we have at our disposal for this year, I think that's very, very possible. And I do hope that we see quite a lot of good races. And there's going to be tracks, as you mentioned, where DRS is going to be key. Hungaroring, of course, and there's going to be tracks where having DRS is going to be, just a cheat code. Places like Monza and the returning Sepang track. Yes, we're going back to Malaysia. More on that a bit later, about like 2 minutes maybe, once we discuss this. But yeah, I think DRS being added back to the cars is gonna provide some much needed oomph, I guess you could say, to the driving, and I'm excited to see what DRS really brings to the racing. As we see slowly the server filling up, we have 20 drivers already from a plethora of teams, some new, some old. Do we talk about that now, Amir, or do we just give it a bit more?
Well, but first we'll start with the ones that have been actually been promoted up for last season. So that would be there's only 3 teams that have moved up to Formula Sprint 1, and they will have their preseason testing conducted. I believe it is next week. I think in not in Mugello, but it's also going to be
Jerez.
Jerez. So just across the
2 weeks time in Jerez.
Control. Gotcha. So just a bit across the, I was going to say across the border, but across 2 borders past France en route to Spain in Jerez. Also a very good testing track, so be tuned for that if you want to watch them. But other than that, there's only 3 teams that have actually been promoted up. Lorenzo, do you want to talk about the ones that have moved up?
Absolutely. As we said, we had 3 teams move up from Formula Sprint 2 to Formula Sprint 1, those being the Constructors Champions of last year, potential GP, who have not retained their lineup. Obviously, their lineup in 2025 was Sandeep Singh, who won the championship quite comfortably, although many people were unhappy that he was there, but never mind, we move forwards. Sandeep is not going to be staying with Potentia. Instead, he's in Super Lights, but again, not my place to talk about that. However, one person who was in the start of the Formula Sprint 2 season last year, who will be with Potentia in FS1, is, from what I heard, Amir Watson, and their second driver is unknown, not keeping Domenico Scarpelli. The second team moving up to Formula Sprint 1 is Scuderia Capclay. The Finnish outfit have retained their 2025 lineup for 2026, with Mikael Tuomala and Junior Lopez staying on board, obviously Mikael Tuomala being the owner of the team, and Junior Lopez being, I'm fairly certain, their longest serving driver, although I could be very wrong. Would need verifying on that. And the third team moving up, also with a full shake-up of their lineup, is Excellion Motorsports, so we won't be seeing the German outfit on the grid this season. They finished 3rd in Formula Sprint 2 last season and have moved up to Formula Sprint 1. Their lineup, from what I heard, is going to be fairly experienced, but again, I'm not sure how much I can say on an FS2 broadcast regarding FS1 lineups, so I'm just holding myself back here. I'm fairly certain the lineups are fully confirmed for most of the FS1 grid. It just doesn't feel like my place to say them.
Yeah, I can understand, and plans do indeed change, so that's just all is there as it stands. Yogo's a bit of drifting, a bit sideways, but we will talk about the team that he is on a bit later. Oh, okay, that's fine. Speaking of which, we will talk about through the teams that are not going to be along here for us in this next year. So RGS Racing, Reading Game Studios have pulled out. Same with Team RNG. RNG previously was known as Team AFP back in 2021. Upon the rebrand 2022, have stayed in FS2 ever since. So that's quite a lengthy departure. Blue Horns Racing makes over through their withdrawal as well, but they're still active in the racing scene as far as I could tell. And Venus Motorsports also pulls the plug after only just about a season in GPVWC as well. So those have only just been the 4 teams that have been completely eliminated, and as we've said, that leaves 9 that has stayed. And as we were talking about at the beginning of the broadcast, 7 whole new teams, and it's going to be a very drastic change here, not just for us commentators that have been very familiar with the Formula Sprint 2 outfits, but also for the viewers and also for the drivers as well, because it's going to give us new outfits to support and to see where they're going to progress in their start of the GPVWC journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Apologies there. Quite a big shake-up, of course. We had 4 teams leave, Venus Motorsports and Blue Horns, who have only done a season each, that being 2025. And then we had 2 teams who have been with us for a bit longer, about, I think, Reading Game joined in 2022 or 2023. And then, as you said, Team RNG was with us since 2020, and both are now left. And with the 3 teams that we have mentioned before moving up to Form Sprint 1, 9 teams left and 7 new ones in, those 7 teams have, I'd say, varying degrees of skill and expectations in their lineups, and the teams that have remained also have some amazing lineups, and I think the championship for FS2 this year is going to be closer, quite a lot closer than it was for 2025. I can already see about 4 potential candidates for the title, 5 maybe if the things that I've heard do come to fruition, but never mind that. Let's do talk about the teams we have with us that have stayed on from 2025. Amir, would you like the honors?
Absolutely. So we'll do it a bit. Let me pull up the last season's results. Indeed, as we know, Abu Dhabi held a very fantastic conclusion. Sandeep clinched it all the way back into Lagos, and as we've said before, potentially the defending champions had indeed effectively just walked away from it. And as you said, they're now promoted to FS1 now. So with potentially Clayton and Excellion all promoted in the top 3, that will leave us with, in terms of the ascending order in last year's championship, Hunter Birch Simulation, Oberk Motorsports, Priority 1, Hot Performance Engineering, Mates VO, Friacha Nera, VMS Sun Edits, Academy, ST Racing. Those are the 9 teams that have stayed.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to get rid of the Academy team, seeing as, of course, as seen in the name, it is the team for drivers from within the Academy series who have not been able to find a seat. As we see, James Knox, surprisingly of all people, is the only person in that Academy car for now. But yeah, Academy team, I don't think they would be going anywhere really. And it will be interesting to see how many good drivers they push forward this season. There were some amazing drivers that went through the Academy team last year. Lorenzo Turi, Lucas Murno, just to name 2, I'm fairly certain. Christian Glomsetter, Victor Bernat also went through the team, Alfie Denley. All drivers who are in the career ladder grid, except for Lorenzo Turi, unfortunately. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Academy team fares this season. And I feel like there were some teams that have stayed on for 2026 that quite a lot of people did not expect to stay on for 2026. I feel like Mapes VO and SD Racing are in that group, but it's nice to see them stay on board. Of course, both teams quite historical in regards to the league. Mapes VO being I'm fairly certain the first team to have won the Super League Teams Championship 3 years in a row between 2002 and 2004. Or it could be 2003 through to 2005. But obviously a very historic team in GPVWC, and 2025 being their first season back since 2006, and now they've kept on board for 2026. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare, and I feel like they have a fairly strong lineup. SD Racing have been in the league really for 15 consecutive years. This will be their 16th, so it's nice to see them on board as well. But enough about these quote-unquote legacy teams. They're not the only ones here who we have. We have quite a lot of teams who have stayed on board who I feel like deserve the spotlight as well.
Yep, absolutely. With the ones that have stayed as well, Hunter Birch, you were talking about them, a very good season that they have last year, with Magnus Akahag indeed leading the charge. He's stayed, but not with Hunter Birch though. But I mean, the fact that they were effectively best of the rest in the season after what is their 3rd season in charge has gone to show like really impressive form, I must say. As you said with Mapes VO, that was 02 to 04 that they won the Super League Constructors back to back. A feat almost unheard of in this day and age in the modern era, shall we say, of GPVWC, and a good return that they've had last season. And the yellow, the mustard yellow team still retains over through into this season, so that's also very fun to keep in mind as well. which ones are the others? Orbit Motorsport seems to be looking pretty good as well. A very, very good performance they've had last year. Same with Priority One, effectively pushing out really good best of midfield performances, I reckon, in terms of everyone. Hot Performance Engineering had some really good standout drives in the latter half of the season, so it's a good thing that they've stayed. VMS Sun Edits Racing always has their shining light as well, and also have been in R Factor 2 for quite a while. I'm pretty sure, Lorenzo, you and I have both have seen them just beyond GPVWC from experience. And as you said, as racing, been here for a long time, and for Era really took advantage of some of the academy prospects, I believe, in the first half of the season, and they've really come to show with it. So the teams that have stayed has been very good ones which have stayed, and I really don't have any debate with leaving or whatever's coming or arriving. So I think it's good that we've got a good healthy 9 teams that have stayed. So that's all good news. And then that will leave us through to the new teams. As you mentioned before, 7. That's quite a lot of teams. We'll need to be fact checked on this, but that's a very drastic change. It might be the first time in quite a while, at least in FS2 or Super Cup levels, that we've had such a massive such a massive change for teams, because that's nearly, as you said, almost half the grid is just completely changed with the new coat of paint as well. So we'll go over through the teams as well. Achille Racing, Chimera Racing Team, Emerald Overdrive, Fox Esports, McKenna Racing, and McManus Motorsports are the 7 new entries for this season.
Yeah, we have, as you said, almost half the grid with a new coat of paint. We've had quite massive changes, not even that far back. Fairly simple for 2025, there are 4 new teams in Super League, but to have almost in half the grid replaced team-wise is quite a massive change and quite a drastic change, as you said. And the new teams who we have on board with us for this season, I feel like they're not here to play around even. Quite a lot of them have very strong lineups going off of alphabetical order. Quilla Racing, the Spanish team owned by Victor Bernat, the Freccianera driver, so slight conflict of interest there, but I don't feel like either of them really care, otherwise there'd be something said, but never mind that. Aquila Racing, as we can see, one of their drivers here, David Junt, so the Swiss driver who did the entirety of last season's Academy Series, first managed to procure a seat in Formula Sprint 2 full-time for 2026, and his teammate will be the Hungarian driver in Mark Silagi, who drove for the second half of 2025 with Team RNG. Fairly good midfield performances, and would hope to improve on those performances in 2026, and I feel like he has the ability to do so, and I think like Aquila are going to be a team that has a fairly decent lineup, but are going to be quite overlooked, unfortunately, for 2026, and I feel like they'll be quite a decent underdog team for this year. Team who I don't think are going to be an underdog at all, skipping a bit in alphabetical order, but I feel like it's deserved so. Fox Esports, owned by James Knox, who from what I've heard has moved up from Formula Sprint 2 to Super Lights, although I've also heard otherwise, but I'm not sure. But Fox Esports have a very strong lineup, and many people consider them to be very strong contenders for the team's championship this year with a fully Norwegian lineup. I feel like it's quite funny that this is the second year in a row where we've had a fully Norwegian lineup in one at least series of GPWC. Obviously 2025 being Kul Haugsvik and Christensen in Formula Sprint 1 100-1, and this year Fox Esports fielding Christian Glomsetter and Magnus Ockenhaug. So that's obviously going to be a very strong lineup for this year, as we see Magnus Ockenhaug now going out onto the track. And that Fox Esports looks fairly nice. We spoke about coats of paint, and that Fox Esports looks very nice, almost reminiscent really of the McLaren Hondas, with the orange and black, but I feel like their performance is going to be far, far better than the McLaren Hondas. Moving back to the alphabetical order, we have Chimera Racing Team, the Japanese team owned by the Danish person Albert Dreyer, with a lineup consisting of Rafael Orham, who did the last 3 rounds of Formula Sprint 2 with Mapes VO, so that would be Singapore, Brazil and Abu Dhabi, and Gabriel Ramos, there we go, thank you Fabian, the Spanish driver who also had a one-off performance in Formula Sprint 2 at Singapore, but for this season has a full-time seat with Chimera, so it'll be interesting to see how this team with a fully rookie lineup performs. And I feel like, again, speaking of Grace of Paints, I feel like that Chimera is an absolute beauty to look at. I mean, look at that. Moving onwards, we have Elk International, who I don't think either of their drivers are here for today. And I feel like my colleague here can tell more about Elk International than I can, seeing as he's their team owner.
No, I can't.
No, you can't? Okay. Well, Elk International then, if I have the honors, is one of two.
I literally have like no idea what's going on with Elk, to be honest. So, I just they do know for the lineup for Mika Hakimi seems to be confirmed for 1 seat at least. Did very good for FS2 last season. Of course, it's a bit of a big unknown, at least for new teams like this going into a season like that. But another driver unconfirmed at the moment. But one Irish team over to the other. McKenna Racing has been around in R Factor 2 for quite a while, having started off just last season, I believe, and they've got one of the stronger lineups, I think, in my opinion. Filip Savinsky really taking the lead to the charge, and Juho Soplin keeping there for company is a really, really good lineup for McKenna and the team owner from Ireland, Nova. She's had some appearances in GPVWC Academy series, so she's very proud with the sort of lineup that she has on the table. So I think that's going to be a really, really good watch to see how they're going to develop. Emerald Overdrive?
Yeah, Emerald Overdrive. So. Emerald Overdrive, the American Filipino team, who have, again, another team with a very strong lineup who have only just entered the league. From my understanding, they did try to enter for 2025, albeit were unsuccessful, and their lineup consists of Thijs Youngstra, the Dutchman, who performed very, very well. I would dare say he was the biggest... Oh well, how would I put this into words that make sense? I feel like he was the most overlooked driver of 2025, as he finished in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, in the FS2 Drivers' Championship, and consistently had good performances. I'm fairly certain he only finished outside of the points in 2 races, excluding DNFs. So from the 32 races across 16 rounds, only 4 races where he didn't gain any points. So obviously a very consistent driver, and Emerald Overdrive, we're going to be happy to have signed him on board. And the other driver is someone who has just pure pace in the Czech driver Dan Hayek, and I feel like deservedly so many people tout them to be championship contenders. It only remains to be seen whether they live up to that hype. And obviously the last team on the grid is a Scottish team owned by Kyle McManus Motorsports. I don't think either of their drivers are here today, unfortunately, but their lineup is confirmed to be Alfie Denley and Shimon Kanda. So Shimon Kanda, who started 2025 with Orbit Motorsports, now returns to a full-time season FS2 with McManus Racing, and Alfie Denley, who did FS2 last season as well as Academy, did FS2 with Blue Horns and was quite underwhelming, unfortunately. We'll be looking to improve this year with McManus Motorsports, and now, I mean, it's a decent lineup, but compared to some of the other lineups from the newly entered teams, I feel like they're gonna be bit more underwhelming than, say, Emerald Overdrive or Fox Esports. But I also feel like McManus Motorsports is going to be a team that's going to provide some fairly surprising results. I do see at least one of their drivers having a race 2 podium at some point in this season. Quite a hot take, I would say, but I also feel like it's very feasible. If they string together the consistency that they need, because objectively speaking, both Alfie Denley and Shimon Kanda are unfortunately quite inconsistent, but I think if they fix that, they can do what I envision them to do.
I think the great thing about the Formula Sprint 2 grid this season, in my honest opinion, is that it's very unclear for everyone, from the drivers to the analysts to even commentators and viewers, everyone in between. No one knows for certain like who's going to clinch the crown this year. Like, it might have been easier to do so last season or maybe the season before, but this one, as you've said before, you've got maybe five, like at worst, five clear contenders right now off the bat. And as the season progresses, it will be cut down via process of elimination, but it is still going to be quite an interesting fight, not just the driver's perspective, but also the team's perspective as well. Of course, Orbit does seem to be the favourites to win, but again, that's not really complete a given, because it depends how good you are over the course of a season, rather than just be it done like what we did in Monaco. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Formula Sprint 2 season. It's also going to be, as you said, our first time for a lot of the drivers, the first time for a lot of the teams. Some drivers are actually making their first all-season appearances as well. Ones that come to mind, for instance, 100% Simulation will have Brenna and Petralia, all of them that had made, I think, one-off appearances or emergency driver contracts with FS2 teams last season. They're going to go all the way with full-time contracts instead. They're the ones that I keep in mind. David Yunt, as we said, is another driver that will be doing that as well, on top of that.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Hunter Bird Simulation having a full lineup of, I mean, you could say inexperienced drivers, but I feel like that would be quite an overstatement. Leila Petralia did race in 2095 with Venus Motorsports, if I'm not mistaken, and Eric Brenner stepped in FS1 to help 100-1 close out the season. So both drivers have some sort of experience within the career ladder for GPVWC. However, this will be their first time having a main seat from the beginning of the season, and it will be interesting to see how they perform. And you mentioned that we have some completely fresh new faces, and I feel like it's about time we address the elephant in the room. And one of the Mapes VO drivers, who's currently top, is he on track? Can we see as we follow him along?
The person that's leading through the timing charts, Cody Nikola Lavkovsky, in the Mapes VO. There he is on board with him now, as driving for Mapes VO this season, running through the number 16 for this season, and well, a pretty interesting livery, if I do say so myself. I'm self-glazing myself. My bad. Apologies, yours.
You forgot he made it.
I didn't make it, but nah, don't worry about it. Yeah, so the elephant in the room does seem to be a really good contender. For those who aren't familiar, very huge accolades into his sim racing career Cody has. He's been over for this beginning of the year has been very hectic, at least for him. Been competing over in Race Room and Ren Sport Championships, and has been doing R Factor 2, and GPVWC will mark his second R Factor 2 championship that he competes in as well, after just slowly getting into it earlier this season. So looking very good for the North Macedonian Australian driver indeed, and as you said, about 1/10 off from this. It is still pre-season testing, but does seem to get very well accustomed to the car, and can really put on the fight to Zawinski, Skinner and Youngstrud, the usual protagonists that we'll think will be championship contenders this season. Quite hard to often overlook Cody. and Kurtz, yep. Not easy to overlook Cody. And speaking of championship contenders, we'll look over through to the rest. Ben Skinner is another favourite. He's the one that came a bit close, I think, last time round, just fallen through short. But if there was anything from that fight between himself and Ockenhaug back in Abu Dhabi, it is a sign of a new era to come, and we can expect to see definitely Skinner to be amongst one of the early top points and potential favourites here in the Formula Sprint 2 Championship, and a chance to maybe bring Orbit Motorsports the Teams Championship as well this season as well. So very good indeed from Skinner. Did suffer through a bit of trouble in the late stages of the season. So as long as he keeps it clean and tends for all the races and maximises all the opportunities given, we could be looking at a real favourite here for the championship, Lorenzo.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think Orbit Motorsports deservedly so. I feel like they have, as I mentioned, one of the strongest lineups, quite possibly the strongest lineup from the teams that have stayed on from 2025. And deservedly so, being called one of the championship contenders. Ben Skinner and Kasper Kuritz, I think, both can fairly well challenge for the championship this season. I feel like last season as well, if circumstances were a bit different, they could have both challenged for the championship back then as well, but obviously we had Sandeep Singh competing. And, I mean, Sandeep didn't go unchallenged, it's just a matter of, really, you could say, mentality between himself and the drivers who were challenging him. We all unfortunately know what happened at places like Monza and Nürburgring. Hopefully we see none of that this year, and I feel like we won't. But yeah, I think if Ben and Kasper stay as consistent as they were through 2025, and especially Kasper, if he can just keep his head screwed on, because Kasper admittedly is a very emotional driver. He can very easily lash out and lose interest, and I feel like if he keeps control of that for this year, then the championship is very well within his hands. Ben Skinner, obviously, I think, had Nürburgring not happened for him and the aftermath of the 4th race suspension, unfortunately, for those who know what happened and who follow the league closely, I think Ben Skinner could have well and truly been in the top 3 at the end of 2025 had that not happened. But I think he will very, very easily be in, and at least in the top 3 in 2026, if not the champion. But obviously, as we said, we have 5 at least fairly strong contenders for the championship in Latkovsky, Kuritz, Chevinsky, Skinner. I feel like you can very, very easily throw in Youngstra and Ockenhaug into the mix as well. And then, of course, one team we haven't mentioned yet, but that doesn't deserve to be kept out of the mix, is Priority 1, who have, despite the fact they've rotated drivers quite a lot in 2025, gone back to the lineup they started 2025 with for 2026 in the Finnish driver Jonas Karola and their team boss Guernsey native Craig Patterson, so 2 very good drivers again, and I think they're also in that mix there for both the teams, and less so the Drivers' Championship, but never say never, Amir.
Yep, Corolla, really, really good last season. I think he's done very, very good. I believe just a bit across the board. And going over through to Priority 1 with Craig Patterson is a really good sign for things to come for the Williams-influenced outfit. They'll always do a Williams-inspired outfit. You always love to see it. And this time they're doing through, I think it is homage to the 2023? Is it 23 or 24?
One of them.
Can't really... One of them. I'm sorry, Craig. I apologize. I offended your William Weewum's support.
Your William.
Weewum.
Offended his William. That's all like an innuendo.
Weewums. But no, Priority 1, I think they're very strong contenders to be best of the rest. Teams-wise, definitely in a chance to maybe, I think Jonas Krell was trying to aim for a race win. So that is also definitely going to be in the cards for him. Same with Craig Patterson, who's also done extremely well. in last season as well from Guernsey and Finland, so they're gonna do pretty well, I'd reckon, in that livery, and chance to maybe to get a podium into the teams. Definitely will be able to pick up points if the well, it depends. It depends like how hard they race, because if the battle between Lakowski, Skinner, Kurit, Stravinsky, Ockenhag, for instance, all like really tenses up, then you can really see drivers like these either like come out a surprise and often like take the race win under their noses, or something like that, or other. It's completely, it's like well, that's the thing about championships, it's always you can never like really know like who's going to become a race winner or not, even for the ones that are like the ones that you least expect, like for instance Petralia or Brenna could be race winners, for instance, or Ramos or Denley could be a race winner.
Denley's here. Let's take a look at the McManus livery if he's on track, because we've not seen it yet. Despite the fact we talked about him earlier. Boo.
He's not on track at the. He's not on track at the moment, but new logo. I don't think I have seen McManus. McManus has done. I think we did have a bit of discussion before. McManus did do a bit of a stint in endurance racing prior to being accepted into the GPVWC Formula Sprint 2 Championships. Like, he improves up to 5th for the new Aquila Racing team, but. I think it's quite good, actually, because at least from what I can see in the stand, the is that a new livery? No, it's the old livery.
No, it's the old livery for GPs. Oh yeah, Academy's getting a new
blue.
livery.
Yeah, new livery coming up very soon in the in the Academy as well. Stay tuned for that for the first race of the Academy season, which will come
unannounced
very soon. Unannounced. And speaking of unannounced, the new GPVWC website is also going to be launching very soon. That will be released, I believe, in about 2 hours' time, precisely on the dot. Toby Davis and Will Ponce have been announcing it, and they've been working at it all the way back in I think it was a GPVWC that announced into the public, and with that comes through new management options, the archive results as well. Here is the McManus livery. It is black.
It's navy, it's not black. I'll give him that.
Is it navy?
It looks navy from afar, it looks navy from close. If that's not navy, then I'm blind.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's more navy than black. If that's black, then, I mean... surely it can't be black. Anywho, off he goes into gravel. He's kept it very well.
He saved it. He saved it.
Oh, that is a Mapes VO
Gee.
stationary on the track. Was that Samuel Slatter or was that Cody? I mean, whoever it is, hopefully they're off the track. It is Samuel Slatter, who has stayed on board for Mapes for this season. He began 2025 with the British outfit, and then unfortunately due to work requirements and whatnot, dropped off around when the summer part of the season began, and wasn't really seen much other than in, was it Brazil or Abu Dhabi, where he came back, and unfortunately due to being away for so long didn't perform well. But I feel like, now that he's back and he's ever so slowly getting back into the groove, I think he'll be getting fairly consistent points, because I think he does have the quality to do that. Obviously going to be a far shot from his academy win at Mexico in 2024, but I think he's good enough to be a consistent point scorer. It just remains to be seen whether he does that or not. And obviously he's going to have fairly big shoes to fill in as well with who his teammate is. As we see one of the McKennas in the grass and gravel there, and we see another car in the grass off the track, thankfully. But yeah, I feel like there's quite a lot of teams we haven't talked about yet, and it's been almost 15 minutes. Who have we missed out on? Can we take a look at the Hunter Birches? We talked about them, but I've heard they've got a new livery. Thank you, Fabian. Oh, she kept it barely,
Good save.
but decent save. But we talked about Hunter Birch, and obviously they're a team who's been on the grid for quite a while and has been performing very, very well for that while they've been with us. Obviously, an entirely fresh lineup for them, losing Magnus Ockenhaug and Joe Gillette. Ockenhaug now with Fox Esports, and Gillette just nowhere within the career ladder. From what I understand, he's taken a bit of a break from the league. And we mentioned the two drivers who they brought in. I think it's going to be an exciting fresh start for Hunter Birch, but I feel like they're going to not, unfortunately, going to reach the heights that they've been at for the last season or two. Amir, what do you think?
I think the important thing is whenever you look for drivers is how motivated they are. And having seen through Petraglia and Brenna being for RGS and Petraglia just only being with Venus, I don't think I've seen as drivers quite as motivated as these two. So Edward does have a pretty good power along their hands, even though they both are a bit lacking experience in maybe comparison to the other teams. I think it's still a good sign for not only are these two very motivated, but they're also extremely similar pace, which is going to, in fact, massively help them in terms of their team game for the positions that they're in, and it could really maximize HBS to get some very good points. And of course, this new sort of era for Hunter Birch does come with a striking new livery, still donning the same British racing green, but this time using the Lotus yellow. And actually no white this time around compared to last season, so very interesting. Also, they've got still the nicknames to continue for the tradition. Petrelli is known as the Midnight Bloom, and Brenna is the Surgeon as well. So thanks, Edward, for continuing that that nickname streak going on. It's always been a great highlight to watch the HBS cars and just see Smokey Joe and just...
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be hard to beat Smokey Joe.
Just any new car would really do it there, but yep, that's all good and news. Just about 10 minutes left to go, or 1 hour 10 minutes left to go. Overall, 17 minutes in total, and we're seeing about the maximum that I think that we're almost the maximum we're going to see. 27 cars onto the grid here for today. The usual one's 32, so teams that are not on the grid at the moment is
missing one McManus, we are missing one Academy, we are missing one SD. Who else are we missing? I know both of the Freshineras are here. Both of the Chimeras are here. I feel like we're missing someone fairly obvious. But, I mean, it's only pre-season testing, so I feel like it's not as important. We're missing both of the Elks, actually. We are missing... Who else are we missing? I think we're missing one of the VMS Sun edits, or I might be wrong.
We think we've got both, I believe. Venus missing and...
we have both of the hot performance cars. Oh no, we are missing... Oh no, there they are. So
you're right.
Another Debris.
Yeah, so debris dismissing, someone's gone off, that's fine.
VMS also have a fairly new livery, very nice, I would say.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, VMS was the first team on the FS2 grid to reveal their livery for 2026, and, you know, looking at it now, the livery that they have, I feel like it's a fairly strong opening. Despite the fact there's admittedly nicer liveries, that's also a very nice livery. And again, we mentioned is as a figure of speech coats of paints this season, and I feel like coats of paints quite literally this season are going to be quite nice to see. Obviously there's going to be quite a lot of green teams, unfortunately. We're going to have Hunter Birch, we're going to have Emerald Overdrive, who are not as green as much as they are black. From my understanding, this is their pre-season testing livery. We're also going to have Velk International. But overall, I feel like it's going to be a fairly colourful grid, for what it's worth. and I'm excited to see that really, because we look at Formula 1 for example, where before 2026 quite a lot of teams were going for quite a lot of carbon on their cars, fairly bland liveries if you could say so, really, because of so much carbon, so much black. But obviously you don't have to really worry about weight in a sim racing environment, so people feel much more comfortable going quite wild with their designs, and you can see it on a car like Emerald Overdrive, which is mostly black, obviously, as you can be seeing here. But again, this is their pre-season testing livery, and even their pre-season testing livery is quite nice and not really that bland. And you take a look at someone like Priority 1 like we did, that's obviously not referencing, it's inspired by a Williams livery. You take a look at VMS Sun edits, looks very, very nice. The Orbit looked very nice as well, the Mapes looked very nice. The Hunter Birch looked not bad at all. The Fox Esports looked very nice as well. I feel like from the teams we do have with us for now, the only two teams who've not come with any sort of livery are McManus and Aquila, unfortunately. So I am excited. Oh, as we see one of the Mape
what a
cars.
crash! God, that was been deleted off the earth. My goodness me, that it was just one spin and just off they went. My goodness me, they've been castrated before the season's even begun. That definitely goes a bit of rally crossing, and we'll in fact rejoin back in onto the racing track. Has been promoted from 27th to 26th, so very good there from the Englishman, half English, half Thai.
I think he's been promoted because someone's left. Because we're down to 26 from 27.
Oh, we are? Oh.
Now we are.
Don't downplay his improvement, SMH.
Yeah. Improvement is improvement. And I see, looking at the YouTube chat, we have requests for interviews, so, with just above an hour left.
Yeah, true. We did have one for an interview, but they all go. And speaking of going, I will depart in about in a couple of minutes' time. But you're not going to be alone for very too long. We will have someone that will come along and who's also just excited for the FS2 change of scenery, as we are. Fellow team owner Hunter of HBS, Edward Hunter, is going to be joining along. I was going to say Hunter Birch as if it's his name. God. I am tired. The season has even begun. I am absolutely cooked. I'm quite happy, to be honest. Like it's gonna be. I think it's both gonna be our full seasons here, doing full-time duty here for GPVWC. We both made some. You did academy for I think second half of the season, and you did it last season as well. So 2024-25 you did.
Yeah, and you did every series known to man.
I was the most appeared commentator in GPVWC, which somehow people were not more mad about that. So,
a blunt rotation, one could say, as Denley goes off, and we follow.
Speaking about blunt rotation, Selfie Denley has one.
Has he?
Or no, he just did one. My bad. Oh, he's catching slays. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be dissing people like this when I'm not
It's
out on
pre-season
track.
testing, and it's all in good fun.
But that for a mind, before I slowly start to head off, I'll run over through to the grid for this season. I'll very, very much thank you and the courtesy to Lorenzo. We do have the graphic for the Super League, so if you want to know the FS2 of the Super Leagues are usually held on a Thursday, and it's usually every other Thursday. So the Thursday when it's not, it is FS1, and then just on the Tuesday from when FS1 is hosted, that is when FS2 is hosted. So as we say, 28 days time, we're going to head over through to Melbourne for March 3rd. Then round 2, it's heading over to Suzuka in Japan, staying over for the Asian continent to secure for the Bahrain International Circuit March 31st. April the 14th at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Here we go, the newcomer here for Malaysia in Sepang. Still the last of the Asian continent, at least in the first half. That's happening on April 28th. May the 12th, that's going to be during the spring break, I believe. It is during the spring break. Montreal will host our through round 6 in Canada. Then it's over to the European leg of the calendar. June 9th will be San Marino in Imola. Then over to Silverstone in Great Britain for June 23rd. July the 7th in Spa, for Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Hungary is in the Hungaroring for Budapest, July 21st. And then Hockenheim alternates from the Nürburgring we had last season. Still taking place in Germany on August the 4th. And then Italy will host our through to September the 1st at Monza. That's going to be our summer break there between 11th and 12th. Then it is the final leg to the finish. It is Kota in Texas for round 13th. That's September the 15th. Marina Bay, Singapore, September 29th. Yes, Marina previously hosted the season finale, is bumped up this time, so it's going to host round 15 October the 13th. And then the grand finale comes down on Interlagos at the 16th. And finale, and as rightfully so, a great way to close off the season in what most people would say, like, Interlagos has always been deserving of that final slot, and well, it's great to see it return. Another good thing though, Malaysia hosts through to the 5th round as well. Nice way to end the first Asia leg of the calendar as well. And Abu Dhabi, I think, does seem to have a pretty good place. It performed really well as the season finale, but just being bumped up a bit before Interlagos means that after Monza, then you've got Kota, then you've got Singapore, then you've got Abu Dhabi, then you've got Interlagos. So that's going to be absolute tense build-up right until Interlagos, and that's going to be such a poetic finale, I think.
Yeah, as you said, obviously we had fairly good finales for the past couple of years at Abu Dhabi, but I feel like Interlagos obviously is just, in regards of, you know, the experience, just everything compared between Abu Dhabi and Interlagos just beats it outright, and quite easily as well. Obviously one of the verges go off in the back, but I'm quite happy having Interlagos as the season finale, and I'm quite happy with some of the tracks we've had for this season. Obviously, I'm happy with Sepang returning. I'm happy with Hockenheim returning, for example. I'm quite honestly quite impartial with Kota replacing Indianapolis yet again. But I feel like there's people out there who'll be more or less upset than I am. Again, quite honestly, I'm quite impartial. Although, quite personally speaking, if I may, I am not particularly content with the choice of Jeddah being kept on the calendar, but most drivers who I know and who I've asked have said that they absolutely love the track, and admittedly I am not as good a driver as any of the people I've asked, so maybe they know something I don't, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how Jeddah pans out, for example, with obviously the addition of the DRS, with the long start-finish rate that Jeddah has, Sepang obviously with its 2 long straights. Japan is also going to be interesting, I think, as well. Obviously, looking at the calendar, we don't have a Spanish Grand Prix this year, so no Catalunya. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with the calendar, and I think most drivers are as well, and hopefully we see most of the drivers who we have here continue racing in all of the races here, or as many as they can. And yeah, I don't know really what else to say other than I'm excited really for the season to begin, and I'm excited to be here in general.
I'm excited to be here as well, and does indeed look to be a season to 100% tune into for all of them. I think it's going to be very good. If the racing is as good as it's hyped up to be, then we're going to see a really, really good fight, not just in the front, but throughout the entire field. I think there's always a yin for a yang for every driver in that field. There's no driver that's going to be like left on their own or no man's land. They're always going to have some form of competition. If they're either going to be from behind or up ahead, like no one is like distant from another. And I think that's the real important bit in sim racing. Sometimes someone will just completely walk for the entire field, and sometimes someone's like so far back. Here, I don't see any of that going on here in FS2, and that's what's going to make it so good and so interesting. And in my opinion, probably contention for one of the best sim racing products that R Factor 2 has to offer. And please do not let this jinx or bite me in the ass come Melbourne, please. I beg you, FS2 drivers, please. I really want this to work.
I'm quite honestly more concerned about the bet I made with Ben Skinner and James Knox in regards of Melbourne, where if people who've been following Formula Sprint 2 for long enough remember, there's a bit of a curse on P11 with there not being a single reverse grid pole from 11th place since, I think, 2023 Singapore, or was it 2024? Either way, I have made a bet that if that happens at Melbourne, I am forced to eat a plant live on stream, so yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but also be really funny if it does. Anywho.
Why would you do this to yourself?
No, well, you see, I've had this philosophical argument with Ben and James as well, where, technically speaking, there's edible rose petals in it, right? Those count as plants, or well, a piece of a plant, so I could just get away with that. Can I know? What do you mean, what?
Oh, God. Alright, I'm gonna go. You can take over for the rest.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you, Amir, for joining us as I bid him farewell, and he goes to commentate what I talked him into doing, which is a touring car league, which I'll be joining him in later, so hopefully once this is all wrapped up, you go and follow us there. But seeing as we're now an hour and 5 minutes, I think, into the session, if we can have the calendar off. Thank you, Fabian. Yes, just above. I feel like it's about time for some interviews, seeing as now I'm alone. And oh, while we had the calendar up, Ben Skinner's gone top 2/10 up on Cody Nikolatkowski. So again, as we talked earlier, I mean, there's so many drivers here who you can objectively count as a potential championship contender. Obviously, the top 3 who we have, and then you have Kasper Kuritz, you have Magnus Ockenhaug, Faiz Yongsha. I mean, looking at the cars we have, I feel like the entirety of the top 8 who we have currently as is are all fairly decent championship contenders, both team-wise and driver-wise, as Ben Skinner decides to do some acrobatics. And you know, I feel like it's about time we get him some interviewees. It just remains to be seen who wants an interview first, as we await anyone to say, hi, I want an interview. No, I think we just saw someone else move up. I think that was James Knox going into P6. So James Knox, obviously I mentioned him earlier. Oh, there we go. I may have missed it. I may have missed the new Academy livery. That's upsetting. But yes, as you saw there for a split second, the Academy cars are going to have a new livery for this year. Very nice. And it's not only going to be the team in FS2, the Academy Series cars are also going to be, you know, in this style, except with the teal being interchangeable, so you're going to have the likes of blue and red and pink and whatnot. But yeah, obviously, we talked about liveries a bit earlier, and obviously the Academy team has a very nice one. Orbit Motorsports, we talked about them earlier, also nice. Although I'm not sure, because I've heard conflicting stories, or it might just be me being a bit dense, but I think this is Orbit Motorsports preseason testing livery. Again, I could be very, very wrong, but a very nice livery. And I also heard that this won't be the only livery they're running this season, but that's not for me to say. I already said too much. Who else do we have on track that's interesting? Are there any of the new entries on track, Fabian? Can we take a look? Yes. Not a new entry, but a returning driver with a legacy team, as you could say. Hansko Mebius, the Dutch driver, returns to GPVWC for the first time since... Ooh, how long has it been? I think 2016 or 2017? It's been quite a long while since Hansko Mebius last competed in GPWC. I think it was back in the Factor 1 days when he was still last around. But obviously he's now back in GPWC, going back to Formula Sprint 2. And he'll be partnering the ever so present Mugello-Vic at SD Racing. So that's going to be a very experienced lineup over at SD Racing. And let me just check. Yeah, it was Hansko Mebius' last event, the 2016 Formula Sprint 2 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Competed in Formula Sprint 2 from 2013 through to 2016. Also did some one-off appearances in FS1 in 2014 and 2015. But he was a very solid driver in 2014 and 2015. Had a bit of a less good attendance streak coming into 2016 compared to the two previous seasons, which in result kind of bumped his rate, bumped his championship position down as opposed to where he was before. But I think that Hansko is going to be one of the drivers who's not going to be really... he's going to be quite overlooked in my opinion. Nobody's going to expect much from him, but he's going to be fairly consistent in his points and might even sneak in a surprise top 5. I feel like expecting a podium of him on his comeback season would be quite a lot, but obviously we see him now going green in both sectors, so it might be even wrong in that regard, but it'll remain to be seen really. But yeah, Hansko Mebius coming back to GPWC after 10 years away, so it'll be interesting to see how SD Racing performs with him. Anyone else interesting who we have on track, Fabian? Can we take a look? We are checking. You're right, we haven't talked about Freccianera yet. Freccianera have been on the grid in FS2 for I think 2 years now. Although I could be wrong, I think they entered in 2023. Let me just quickly verify myself. Let's see. Scuderia Freccianera. There they are. They have joined in 2023 indeed, yes. Obviously, last season a bit underwhelming. Start of the season with Damir Kuratko and Josh Flynn, the Serbian and Scot, departed after round 6 at Indianapolis, and ever since then they had the driver pairing of Andrea Kinaya and Victor Bernat, with Kinaya missing Silverstone and Singapore and being replaced by Mauro Terzoli and Alessandro Iannone respectively for those 2 rounds. But Luca Titano has decided to keep the Italian-Spanish partnership on for 2026, and I think that's Freccianera. Obviously quite underwhelming in 2026. Not 2026, 2025. All wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. But finished 11th in the team standings. Obviously going to want to improve for 2026 because from what I have heard, they do have ambitions to move up in the career ladder and even had them for 2026. So we could have had 4 teams potentially move up to Formula Sprint 1 in the end, but Freccianera have stayed with us for 2026 here in Formula Sprint 2, and I think that Freccianera is going to be one of the teams on the lookout. Obviously, Orbit Motorsports have a strong lineup, Fox Esports, Emerald Overdrive, Priority 1, but I think Freccianera can quite comfortably, you could even say Mapes VO as well, obviously, but then having Cody and Samuel on board for this season. I think it's going to be a fight between Freccianera and Mapes VO for that P5 spot, and McKenna actually, apologies to Nova McKenna and the Irish outfit. I think it's going to be quite a close fight between those 3 teams for that last top 5 spot, but I feel like, in my personal opinion, with no disrespect to anyone on the grid, the top 4 are going to be Orbit, Priority 1, Fox Esports, and Emerald Overdrive. Not in that specific order, it'll remain to be seen. But I also feel like Emerald Overdrive are going to be closer to the 3 teams I mentioned fighting for P5 in the standings than they are to the 3 in front of them. I mean, again, as Amir and me mentioned a bit earlier, the grid this year is so close together that it's really hard to wager who's going to be where, who's going to beat who's going to win what and where and when and how. It's really just all speculation at this point in time, and obviously the team owners and the team supporters and the team drivers are going to wish the best for themselves. And, you know, speaking as a commentator, obviously I have to be as objective as I can, but I feel like I'm also entitled to my own opinions, and those are mine. And I think Freccianera, as we see Andrea Kinaya start his hot lap now, is going to be one of the teams who are going to hit way harder than people are going to expect them to. And personally, I'm excited to see whether they fulfill my expectation or not. And I think that's one of the McKenna cars there in front of Andrea Kinaya. I think that is Filip Chewinski, or is it Juho Supplement? It is Filip Chewinski. As he quite aggressively goes on the curb there. And goes into gravel, as he managed to keep it just about. He's decided to rejoin the track, so okay, clean rejoin, nothing wrong with that. But Filip Chewinski, obviously, we've talked about him quite a lot, I think deservedly so. I think over the course of 2025, he has been one of the, objectively speaking, most improved drivers on the FS2 grid, going from consistent midfield to now in 2026 a potential championship contender. And I'm quite excited to see how the Polish driver does this season with the Irish outfit. Still no interviewees. I just feel like I'm dragging on and being boring at this point. Well, we can't have some interviews, maybe? Yes, no, yes. Could you repeat that, Fabian? Has he? Oh, well, we can have Ross on board. I'd love to have Ross on board. Let's see whether Ross McIntyre will be joining us. We could even have 3 commentators at one point if Ed Hunter is also available for the last half hour of the session, as he mentioned beforehand. Oh, and we do have someone waiting for an interview, but I'll wait to see whether Ross joins us first. 2 minutes. Well, I don't really feel like waiting 2 minutes to interview our first person, so let's have our first interview of 2026. Welcome to Orbit Motorsports owner and Mapes VO driver Samuel Sladov. Samuel, how are you, mate? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm feeling all right, I guess. All right.
That's always nice to hear. And I feel like, obviously, addressing first of two elephants in the room, Orbit Motorsports, probably not as good a season in 2026 as you would have hoped for, but in 2025, God, I'm getting lost, wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. But 2026, obviously, coming into the season with a very, very strong lineup, and quite a lot of people are touting you to be one of the main championship contenders in the team's championship. Do you feel like you have what it takes to perform to the people's expectations? And where do you see yourself at the end of the season, although it might be a bit too early to say?
Yeah, well, I think we're definitely going to be able to compete for a championship. Ben Skinner and Casper are two of maybe the two best drivers. No, actually, Cody's here as well. But they're
He's
both
your teammate.
definitely top 5 drivers. Yeah, he's my teammate. They're both definitely top 5 drivers. For sure, Ben is very consistent. Casper also very, very fast. Faster than Ben Skinner probably, but just not as consistent. I think our chances for the constructors, I mean the team championship, are very, very high. I really believe we're gonna win it. I don't see who can really put up a fight at the minute with the current lineups. There's other strong lineups, but I don't think any of them are as good as ours. So yeah, I'm very, very confident.
Yeah, well, you mentioned you don't really see anyone putting up a fight with your team in the team's championship, but obviously the second elephant in the room here, as we mentioned a bit earlier, Cody Nikola Latkovsky, there he goes on the screen, on the big old screen there. Obviously your teammate, and as you said, don't see really anyone challenging you the team's championship, but seeing as Cody is your teammate, you're going to be a bit biased, but obviously Orbit being your team that you're running as well, you're going to be a bit biased on that side as well. Do you think that Cody will be able to beat either of your drivers in the team's championship? Obviously Mapes is going to be a bit of a long shot for the team's championship, but Cody obviously very good driver with quite a lot of accolades. I think this is the first time we had an FIA gold medalist
Yeah.
in the
He
league,
was.
so yeah, so what do you think? Will Cody be able to beat your driver pairing to the teams, not to the teams, to the drivers championship, or do you trust in your boys?
Cody's a very good driver. I've only driven with him in this session for now, but we've talked about setups, we've talked about driving. He's helped me. He's very keen on getting better in the short or little time, I mean, he has to practice because he's at so many events. He's a very strong driver. He's clearly showing very, very good pace, and I'm not one bit worried that he cannot secure the championship. I think he's a very, very strong contender with Ben Skinner for the Drivers' Championship. And then I think the second runners for that spot are Kasper Kuritz and Filip Czerwinski.
Absolutely, and obviously with the driver lineup that you have, again, you feel very confident in your driver lineup that you can win the team's championship and possibly the drivers' championship as well. As we welcome Ed Hunter. Hello, Ed. We are just in the middle of interviewing Samuel Sladov here.
Oh, well, don't let me interrupt.
No, well, you can ask a question if you
worries.
want as well.
Okay. Hello, Samuel.
Hello.
And hello, the GPV community in 2026, I guess. It's great to have you. Obviously, last season you were with, was it Mapes VO?
Yeah, I was
Samuel
still with Mapes. Yep.
Yeah. And it was a pretty solid debut season. You scored a couple of points here and there. As we look at Cody Nikola Latkovsky, just drifting around the final corner at Mugello in the other Mapes VO. But yeah, how are you feeling going into this one? Do you feel refreshed after the winter break? Do you have a good Christmas? All that sort of thing?
No, it's exactly the opposite. I'm pretty washed up at the moment. I'm not where I'm not where it should be. I didn't like how I performed last season. I had a good start to the season, but after that, things kind of crumbled away for me from there because I wasn't so consistent with practicing. But this time around, I'll try to change that. My teammate is very good, and I'm sure we will be able to help each other to push us forward and secure the highest places.
And who is your teammate? Is it Cody?
Yeah, it's Cody.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, so I've not really been keeping track of FS2 outside of my own team. But anyway. So I seem to have just taken over the interview, Lorenzo. Did you have any questions you thought of in the time that I've been speaking? Or?
He's asked me too already.
Yeah,
Oh,
I asked
okay.
you already. It's only fair that you had one.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said, I literally just got back from running Cub Scouts, so I've
So I've heard.
been sort of roped into doing this because apparently Amir is too busy, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But
Roped
but yeah.
into this as I've roped Amir into something entirely else. Apologies to
Anyway.
Amir.
Oh, no, it's okay. Well, no, it's absolutely fine. Oh, well, not that you couldn't handle things on your own, but it just makes things slightly easier for everyone
And
to have someone to bounce off of. But anyway,
But yeah, I feel like we've asked-
Lukovsky's setting some very, very quick sector times here, so it seems like he's really nailed the setup. Have you got anything to do with that, Samuel, or is this all news to you?
No, actually, he's the one that's made the setup. We've talked about it, just tweak some little things. I can't really give him much advice. He's much better.
You've got a
on
whole
that
season
front
of
than me.
experience, Samuel. You can't say you got nothing to offer.
Yeah, but Cody's
Ooh.
driven much more than me. GPVWC is my first sim racing experience ever, and last season was my first time driving ever. So,
Boy, do we
Cody's
have
much more experienced.
boy, do we have catching up in regards to Cody to do. Add.
Well, fair enough. But as you see, is that one of the other cars?
Willers.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've got the livery sorted yet, and
The
the driving.
The
Also,
McManuses don't have deliveries.
that was Johannes Lepit in the Hut Performance, maybe. If
I
that.
think no, the hot performances do have delivery, but
Oh, okay.
anyways, without keeping Samuel here bored, I think we've ran out of questions really for you, unfortunately. Oh well, fortunately for you.
Let
So,
me ask you guys a question then.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
What do you guys think about deliveries so far in PST?
Haven't
quite
seen any
happy.
of them apart from
I'm
Mullen.
quite happy with them. I'm quite happy with what I've seen. Obviously, there's going to be
Mapes BO one
think-
looks nice, bit like a Renault.
Yeah, it's pretty clean.
There's going to be
I
like
think
3 green teams on the grid. Actually, no, we have Frechen Nair, we have Elk, we have Hunter Birch, and then to an extent we have Emerald Overdrive.
so. And
Oh,
my
yeah,
team.
Yeah, well, Orbit's a bit more pastel
Pale.
green compared
Yeah,
to
it's
the
a bit different
other
to the other teams.
But other than that, I'm quite a big fan of all the deliveries that we have, so I can't really complain.
Other than Ed's team, all deliveries are great.
All my
just
homies
kidding.
hate on McManus. So,
Well, the
yeah.
McManus doesn't have a livery, they're just
Exactly.
navy blue.
He doesn't seem to have much of a plan either half of the time. He's sort of
No,
winging it.
he doesn't really have a logo, doesn't even have a livery. I gotta always hate him. Hate watch for Colin McManus, yeah?
I mean, he is a human being. We shouldn't rag on him too much.
Nah, you can take it.
Can he? I'm not so sure.
He
I
can.
spent quite a lot of time with him at GPV Day in Liverpool. I'm fairly certain he can take it. He's
I know him- I
he's
know
a
him
class
from
and a
way
half,
back.
Donny.
I know him from way back, so it's good.
He's a
Friendly
class and a
banter.
half. But
Class and a half or a glass and a half?
class.
Okay, that's what I
If
thought
it
you
was
said.
if it was a glass, then
A glass
that'd
half
be
full?
concerning.
The glass and a half is like an overflowing glass.
well, it just means he goes over the top and beyond. We're getting philosophical here. Samuel, we've exhausted you, I'm sure. So I feel like we can only thank you for being the first interviewee of this GPVWC 2026 season, just in general. And yeah, again, good luck on the track with your own team and with your own driving. And we do hope to see you more than we did in 2025 and more successful than we did in 2025.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'll go keep being mid right now in the PST. See you guys later.
Alright then, we see Justin van der Smissen is waiting for an interview, but actually no, let's get Justin in. Let's get Justin in.
Yeah, let's.
Let's get Justin Van der Smissen in for an interview. Justin, can you hear us?
I can hear it, yeah, loud and clear.
Welcome.
Hey guys.
It sounds like you've been having the same cold that the rest of us have been having, Justin.
No, not really.
Okay. Oh, that's just the mic. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Maybe it's on the wrong headset or something, but yeah.
It doesn't
You
matter. We
sound
can
very
hear you.
stuffy, but nevertheless we can hear you.
It's very snooty and arrogant as well. Nah,
Ah, man.
nah, Justin never.
You never. But yeah, welcome aboard to the commentary booth for an interview. First question, why is David De Vries in the 2025 livery when you're in the 2026 livery?
Well, the thing is, I was working on Magnus's helmet for the past week, and doing some other livery stuff for different cars and different leagues. So I did not send in the 2026 livery for the preseason, but I did have the files loaded already for myself to check the livery. So David is driving the old livery whilst I'm in the new, because I skin transferred the new one for myself.
Wow, so you're only working for yourself. That's a bit biased.
Yeah, no, not really. I forgot to send in the files, but I had them on the game to check delivery if it was all right. So,
Yeah, we'll see the livery by Melbourne for sure.
yeah, it's basically the same for David.
But speaking of same, the lineup is same from 2025 now in 2026, and do you feel
2024
like
as well.
Yeah, 2024. So 3 seasons now in a row that you've had the same lineup essentially. And do you feel like 30 is the charm with your team? Do you feel like, unfortunately, last season was a bit further back on the field with quite some good performances here and there? I think Mexico comes to mind immediately, and Monza I think as well. But do you think you can perform more Monzas and Singapores in 2026 compared to 2025?
Well, I think we definitely, we definitely had our moments last season. We had some really good runnings as well, Singapore, Mexico as well, especially with the win for David. And I believe, we can really do it like the whole season, get points and stuff. But I feel like in 2024 and even now in preseason testing, I see already that we are a bit behind in terms of the setup work, which is something we struggle with quite a bit. But it's something I have tried to work on over the winter, and as well now during this session, just trying to understand the car, understand the changes that the setup does. And I think definitely next season, this upcoming season with myself and David, we do really have a good lineup, good teamwork as well. So I think we can really show a bit more performance this season.
Do you have anything to ask, Ed? And then we'll just rotate on the questions, really.
Okay. I was going to say that Lorenzo alluded to this, but last season ended quite strong, despite the fact that it was a little bit of a struggle at the start, especially with David's performances. Even your own, you were able to score a couple of points here and there, weren't you, Justin, if memory serves, in sort of the likes of Hungary, Singapore, Mexico. That was like 3 weekends, 3 events in a row where you were scoring pretty consistently. Is it difficult? Is it sort of certain circuits that really suit you well, or is it more just getting on top of the setup of these particular cars as the season goes on? As we see David have a massive slide at the rear there that he saves brilliantly, actually. Anyway, through turn 5 as he abandons that lap. But anyway, back to the question. Sort of, when did things start to click for you in 2025, and is that going to help this year?
Well, for this year, honestly, I'm not really sure what to expect for myself, as I do not have it currently here, but I will get it, I think, somewhere this week. I ordered a new wheelbase, so I'm upgrading to SimCube from the Fanatec. So for myself this season, I'm not really sure what to expect because I need to adjust to the new wheelbase as well. But I think coming back on last season, we definitely had a rough start with the setups, and not only that, also just a bit of bad luck, like getting involved in quite a few incidents, and yeah, no chance in avoiding, and yeah, I think definitely setup work was one of the main issues in the beginning, and then as we went, I think past round 6 or 7, from there you saw that the performance was increasing bit by bit, and I think it definitely showed in Mexico that the work that we have put in since the beginning of the season, and to the point where what we can achieve and what we believe that we can definitely achieve over the course of the season. But yeah, it's always with a new car, especially with a bit time limited for both me and David, that the setups is quite a big of an issue for us. But we'll try to get it good for this season and see what we can do.
Yeah, well, you're always brilliant to talk to, Justin. A lovely presence to have on the grid. So, yeah, obviously a competitive hours, and I don't imagine we'll be doing a whole lot better than you. I would be very surprised if VMS aren't ahead of us, at least at the start of the season, given we've had to change both drivers, and you've had the same drivers for 3 seasons straight now, including that 2024 in FS1 as well, which I guess was David's first season. So he's particularly come a long way, and so have you as well. Given it's your 4th season with the team as well, isn't it? So, yeah.
Yep. Well, a good story on the team itself. Like actually, when VMS began, I created VMS together with Case, and
Hi Sonneveld, yes.
Yeah, and I resigned like I think a year after to focus on my own driving, and then Case pretty much had the team for the past 5-6 years, and I wanted to I didn't really know where to go in 2023, and then I got a spot for VMS, so it felt really good to be back home. Let's put it that way, and to be here for I think my 4th season in a row now with them. It's just great. You know, Case is a great guy. We talk a lot. We work together quite a bit. Last season we also worked a little bit with some fellow friends to work on the setups, like understanding it a lot better and a lot more. And especially David joining 2024, he started up pretty close already, and now you see like basically every single weekend last season we were like within 50 thousandths of a second each single race and each qualifying session. So he definitely improved quite a lot. But I must say, me and David always has been performing on quite a similar level, even back in the first year that we went to school together, together with another friend, just playing on the PlayStation. Like every lap was just immensely close together to each other, like within a tenth, 2 tenths, and it just shows again, like for the past 2 years, definitely.
Wow, there you have it, folks. The VMS life story. So that's basically the past 5 or 6 years of the team in a nutshell there. But anyway, thanks for letting us know, Justin. And yeah, best of luck out on track, and may the best team win.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hopefully I'll get to see you a bit more next season than I did last season.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, it was always fun talking a lot to you guys in 24. Last season was a bit less, but...
Well, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about as well, but you were the only one who wanted to talk to us half the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to you know, have a chat with some good folks like yourselves. So,
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
We'll just have a change of scenery.
Must be
for this
speaking about
year.
someone else other than me then, if it's good folks you want to talk to.
Yeah, a bit of a change of scenery for this year. You won't have Toby and Alex to talk. You'll have Amir and me.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would have had a bit of a chat with also last season for the special liveries, so... And even the year
That's true.
before, I think, with the
Special
Jaguar.
deliveries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we sort of, because we also got Doug Hilliard doing our liveries, so him and Justin have sort of been sharing duties the past couple of years, and Doug sort of wants to get more involved with the special liveries as well. So that's probably why we've been a bit out of contact, Justin. But yeah, if you got something
Yeah,
you really
I mean,
want on, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what he's gonna come up with. I'm sure he can do a good job on deliveries. So, and I mean, I got my hands quite full with Optimal
Exactly,
as
yes.
well. So,
And
I
you
mean,
did a good job
if
on
I
those
have-
liveries as well.
yeah, if I always have the time to do so, then definitely. But like this season, I think I need to do 3 more liveries for Optiminal in this month, and then work my way down the LMU liveries. So
Of course, yeah.
quite a lot of cars to go.
Well, let's not hold you up anymore. Let's let you get on with it then.
Yeah, all good, guys. I'll see you guys.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, Justin. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we have more people waiting for an interview, but I feel like there's 20 minutes left. Before we drag in anyone else, I would like to interview you first, Ed, very shortly, seeing as you are also a team owner.
As it
obviously-
happens, yeah.
As happens. Obviously, you did mention earlier while talking with Justin that you did have to change the full lineup, obviously losing Magnus to Fox Esports, James Knox's team, and Joe Gillette stepping away from the league entirely for the time being. And bringing in two new drivers, so to say rookies, despite the fact they have closed out 2025, Eric Brenner with RGS in FS2 and 100-1 in FS1, and Leila Petrelli having some one-off appearances with Venus Motorsports. How do you feel coming into the season with an entirely fresh lineup and, well, I don't know really what your expectations are, but I feel like most people have asked, unfortunately for you to hear, do you feel like Hunter Birch will not reach the heights this season as they did, for example, the last 2 years?
It would be surprising, admittedly, to see either Eric or Layla winning a race, considering neither of them has got a point to their name as it happens. I think you've got to see somebody spinning off into the gravel at the last corner again. It seems to be just a regular feature.
I do think that Eric has actually scored points in Formula Sprint 1, just not in Formula
He has in FS1. He has just snuck into the back end of the points in FS1. That's true. But yeah, FS2 wise, I think both of them are still looking to sort of break in. I think both of them have got potential. Sorry, that's just the alarm for my dinner going off. Anyway, I'll just finish off the interview. So both of them, I think, have got a lot of potential. I know, at least initially, they were very, very keen to work together. As I see Eric completely spin off into the gravel, and there's a big 360 to correct it. So nicely done there. But that lap is basically a washout. But anyway, they're very interesting characters. They're interesting to manage sometimes because they know their own mind. I'll put it that way, and they know what they want. They just don't always know how to get it. So it's just a case of they take a bit of management, but they are individually lovely and brilliant to work with. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted here. People keep trying to talk to me. Hold on.
It's dinner time. Yeah, we'll let Ed get his dinner, and I think as that was a short interview, as we said.
Sorry, yeah, you just caught me at a bad time. Justin went on forever, and then I had to crush everything into 5 minutes.
No, yeah, you can go grab your dinner, and I'll grab the Priority 1 pairing of Craig Patterson and
all right, okay, I'll see you on the other
Carroll
side.
to interview while you get your food as Ed goes off. Yeah, as Ed goes off, Eunice and Craig join us.
Hello.
Hello, Craig. Hello, Eunice. Can you hear me?
Loudly clear, loudly clear.
Very nice. Well, it was supposed to be Ed and me, but Ed's gone off quickly to get dinner. So you're stuck with me for the time being.
That's fine.
And yeah, that's fine. I hope so. You're going to be hearing more of me this season. And I do
course,
feel like you will be hearing more of me this season because obviously going into 2026, Priority 1 retains the lineup they started 2025 with, despite the fact it was a bit of a revolving door, admittedly, over at your 8-fit Craig through 2025. But I feel like that the team, nevertheless, is very, very strong. And I feel like you guys are going to be a very, very strong contender for the top 3 in the team's championship this year, I would say.
Well, that's the goal. We've done it once in 24. 25, like you said, off year. Me, motivationally wise, and Jonas with his equipment. But, yeah, everything seems to be going well so far in testing. Both top 10, not too far off the guys in front. So, feeling better going into this year than last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, and obviously coming back with yet another Williams livery. This
Yes.
is Amir and me discussed this actually. Which year was this?
This is the 2025 launch livery from last year. So it's got a little bit of like camo.
That's the. I think that's Magnus in the grass there.
Oh.
And
Why is that?
actually speaking of Magnus, you yourself brought it up. You two have had a bit of a, you could say, rivalry. Really, you two had a bet for the last 2 years
Yeah.
in regards of who finishes ahead of who in the championship, and then
I still
they
need to
pay
pay
the other
him.
for life.
I still need
Do
to
you?
pay him for last year. Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Is it
I-
gonna
I
be
will.
three? Is it gonna be 3 years in a row with that?
Yeah, we'll sort something out for this year. Probably do that the same amount as we did this
Like
year.
about a GPV day.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, it depends where GPV day is. I mean, it'd be nice to know earlier in the year rather than like towards the end of the year where it's going to be. So it just messes around with trying to get
I
holiday off
second
for
that
it.
statement. I second that statement mostly. But coming back to you, Eunice, obviously, as Craig mentioned, and as I will mention as well, you had equipment issues in 2025. Started the season fairly poorly, admittedly, and then your wheel just outright died. But now you're back with a new wheel, and you're back with a new will. And do you see yourself reaching the heights that you reached in, for example, 2024? Getting podiums and the occasional win, possibly even more wins and podiums than 2024.
So far, I think I can do that.
Yeah, that's a very Finnish answer. I really don't know what I expected.
I think he can. I think he.
Do you see yourself? Do you see yourself joining him, Craig?
Oh yeah. Well,
Apologies for interrupting.
2024. What? Jonas got 2 podiums. I had 2 wins. Our last race in 24 was a 1-2. I can't see why we can't get back to that standard. I can't see why we can't. If the car feels as good as it is, it now suiting both our driving styles, then I can't see why we can't do that again.
Yeah, and obviously speaking, I brought up the fact that many people, including yourself, see the possibility of a top 3 finish. But obviously, we've got a lot of stronger lineups this year, and you being yourself one of the stronger ones, do you see yourself potentially managing to line up a charge for the team's championship? And if you do, who do you see as your main rivals this year in that regard?
Well, I talked myself up a little bit last year, and that sort of bit me in the butt a little bit. So I'm not going to talk myself up that much. But in all honesty, I just want an improvement on last year. I mean, obviously, I had 1 win in Hungary, which is just a fluke. Still a poor season last season, and I can't even remember we finished the team's championship was from 8th and 9th. But I just want to see a big improvement on last year. And if wins and podiums come along the way, then that's just an extra bonus.
Yeah, that's a very good mindset to have, to be honest. But my question does still remain there. You did say that you see yourself being able to secure a top 3 finish in the team championship, but who do you see yourself as your main, well, not obstacles, main rivals in that regard?
Ben and Orbit, for sure, they're going to be very quick, as you can see in the trials at the moment. Mates, I've got a funny thing, race 2s are going to be really important this year, especially on how quick you can get through the field and how quickly you can do it cleanly as well.
And with DRS as well, race 2s are going to be a bit more interesting straight through.
Yeah, DRS, with that back as well, it's going to help as well. So races should be a lot more entertaining as well. But I just got a funny feeling race 2s are going to be vital this year. If you want, there's more people, I feel, in the fight for this championship compared to last year. So Ben, Cody, Casper, can't rule out Philip as well. Even Fox can be up there as well. P1 as well. So it's going to be tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, as you said, compared to last year, this year, there's a lot of strong teams all gunning for both the drivers and teams. You have Orbit, you have yourselves, you have Fox, you have Mapes as well, you have McKenna, you have Emerald Overdrive. I feel like you're going to be in the mix there as well. Faiz Junction, Dan Hayek, very strong lineup. And then there's going to be some, less impressive teams, but also teams that are going to punch above the weight everyone
Yeah.
expects them to, like Fresh in Air and Aquila, I think.
Oh yeah, people are not just going to move out of the way for it. They're going to fight for what people are going to fight for whatever they can. So it's going to be good. Last year we did have strong lineups last year, but obviously things happen and whatever happened for a reason. With drivers coming and going. But I just got a funny feeling this one's going to last the whole season, and it's not just going to be one person that's going to run away with it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not going to be the case this year.
It'll be good. Can't wait to get started.
Yeah, and I mean, we already started to an extent, but
Oh yeah, but race one obviously.
obviously just, I mean, exactly a month actually until
Yeah.
we hit the track at Melbourne. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks until round 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be exciting to see the end results of this preseason testing session and Melbourne and the entire season really, and hopefully we do hear more from the both of you, Amir and me, through the course of the season.
We'll be around, especially if we get a good result. We'll be the first ones in the waiting room for it. So
Yeah. Can't promise we'll be in first unless you win, though.
oh no, if it's a podium, I'll be there. If it's not a podium, you won't see me.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you both of you for joining us here, Craig and Eunice, and yeah, thank you for attending today and for joining us, and yeah, I hope to see more of you through the season.
Yeah, no worries, bud. Catch you later.
Catch you later.
See, Eunice is on a lap, so I'm disturbing him. Apologies, Eunice.
He wants to beat the Estonia before the time finishes, so yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right,
I won't
catch you
disturb you
later.
any longer. See you later.
Yeah.
See you.
As we bid farewell to the Priority 1 pairing, I do see a couple more pairings. The McKenna pairing of Eunice Carola, not Eunice Carola, sorry, Philip Chawinski and Juho Sopanen was supposed to be next. But Juho Sopanen appears to be deafened, so I'm gonna go with Kasper Kuritz first. Kasper, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, oh, you're on a lap. Apologies for disturbing you.
I'm not on the hot lap. I'm just driving.
Oh, well, I do see you're a 2/10 down your personal best in Sector 2, so I'm gonna intrude you anyway. First question. I'd say the elephant in the room, and I've said that line quite a lot through this stream. Orbit Motorsports, arguably the biggest contender for the team's championship. Do you feel like you and Ben have what it takes to take that expectation across the line by Interlagos and win the team's championship? Yes or no?
Short answer, yes. Long answer would be, I think, yeah, we do. Of course, Ben's basically really reliable. You've seen that from last year. He got, what, 4 race wins, I think? Or something around that. I had an amazing start to the season with like 8 podiums in the first 5 rounds or something as well. Well, and yeah, I don't expect that start again because that was truly, I don't know, a miracle. But I feel like we have a really good chance, yeah, looking at the rest of the grid.
Yeah, and obviously, as you said, you have a really good chance. You expect yourselves to win the team's championship. Who would you say are your biggest contenders this year? Because obviously, most people are asked, say, Orbit, and then they also include teams like Fox Esports and Priority 1 in there. McKenna as well, Mapes. Who else do we have? Emerald Overdrive. Who would you say is your biggest really contender for the team's championship?
I think the obvious answer would be Fox. Because, yeah, again, 2 drivers who are really good with, I think it was, yeah, Glamsetter and Ockenhag, right? So, yeah, both really, really quick drivers. Have had practice with Glamsetter before, he's really quick. And Ockenhag, just racing against him on track, he's always a really fierce fighter. He doesn't really give up easily, so, yeah. I feel like those 2 will be up there as well. And then Mapes is a question mark because I don't want to disrespect my team boss, but I feel like if they would have a chance, Cody would have to pull off a miracle and win everything or something for them to be in the contention as well.
Breaking news: Casper Courage sacked by Orbit Motorsports.
Yeah. So
oh,
if
someone's
anyone's
off in the someone's on fire behind you.
But yeah. And then I think Emerald Overdrive as well have a pretty decent lineup out. So them as well.
Yeah, I do agree with you in that regard, but I do also want to ask you really quickly because there's only 7 minutes left and a lot of people waiting for an interview. Drivers Championship. Do you see yourself contending there or not?
Well, I want to say yes because I actually do believe, like, I want to believe in myself, and if I was to say no, there was really no point in driving, I feel like, or like trying or something. So yeah, and seeing as the grid, I feel like at the top is more like, how do I say, closer than last year. Because I feel like there was only like 2 people that were really challenging for the title. That in the middle of the season, I feel like that's gonna genuinely be at like 8 drivers now, possibly. So yeah, I want to say I can, because genuinely everyone's just that close, seeing from the results as well. Like everyone's within, I think top 10's within 5 tenths. So, oh god.
Careful there, careful. And off he goes. Oh, you're on fire now.
Yeah, now I can just speak and not drive. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, top 10's within 5 tenths, so I really feel everyone has a chance within 7 tenths. So I really feel anyone in that top 10, top 8 has a chance. But yeah, I'm gonna back myself.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And do you see, obviously, Ben is gonna be... oh, hello, Ed, as you come back from...
Don't let me interrupt. Keep asking.
I was gonna ask, obviously, you see Orbit as the possibly main contender for the Teams Championship, and yourself as someone who has a good chance at the Drivers Championship, so I'm assuming you see Ben as one of your main contenders for the Drivers Championship. And who else would you say so?
Ben Cody is a complete dark horse. I mean, he's come from Gran Turismo background and LMU as well, I've heard. Or not LMU, I think Gran Turismo, yeah, mainly. So he's gonna be
he's an FIA gold medalist in that regard.
Yeah.
He did the if you remember watching the fight with the Red Bull XRs at the Dragon Trail, that was him.
Yeah, so he's a complete dark horse. I mean, yeah, looking at preseason test and how he has basically had little practice compared to us in this game. For example, I have like 1,500 hours, I think, and him to come in and genuinely be on pace like that just shows how quick he can be. And I think across the season he's just gonna prove it, like develop, just get better as well. So I feel like Cody's up there as well.
Alright, any questions from you, Ed? Because there's 4 minutes left and I'd like to interview the people who we have waiting.
Can't really think of too much, but it's good to see you again, Casper, and best of luck for this coming season with Orbit, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be a challenge to keep up with you guys from our point of view.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, well in that case, I think we've exhausted ourselves out of questions for you, Casper, so thank you for joining us, and yeah, I feel like we'll be seeing more of you this season, and I'm hoping that we do as well.
I hope so as well, man.
Alright,
I'll see you guys later.
Take care. Oh, I nearly dragged myself out of VC. Alright, we have... How much do we have? We have 3.5 minutes left. I say we do a lightning round. We have 3 teams waiting. We have Christian Glomsen and Magnus Ockenhaug of Fox Esports, and we have your drivers in Eric Brennan and Leyland Petralia waiting. I say we drag both lineups in. I ask the Hunter Birch lineup, and then you ask
makes
the
sense,
Fox
yeah.
Esports lineup. All right.
It'd be interesting to know my former driver.
Yeah. All right. Let's drag him in. Let's drag them in one by one. Let's drag the 2 lineups of Fox Esports and Hunter Birch in for a quick lightning round with 3 minutes left. Magnus, Christian, Layla, Eric, can all 4 of you hear us?
Oh, fuck's sake. Sorry.
Eric.
Can you not do that?
Sorry. I just
with
went
the
into the
monitors
wall. I
now.
wasn't aware that you guys put me in.
That's what we were literally just telling you.
Yeah.
We put you in.
I can't hear anything. Sorry, guys. I was.
All right.
That's okay. Nothing changed from usual there.
Anywho, there's 2 minutes left, so Ed and me have organized lightning round. Ed's gonna ask the Fox Esports guys, I'm asking the Hunter Birch guys. Ed, you take the lead. Oh,
Whoa.
that's one of you guys just
That
spinning
wasn't one of the
and
Fox
didn't
guys
go
spinning
round.
there, was it?
Was it? It was.
Okay, so I guess we'll talk to Magnus and Christian. So I suppose just for the purpose of balance, we'll talk to Christian first. Obviously, was it your debut season last season in FS2? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. There we go. And you got some good points. I know you and Magnus historically have been quite close, and that continues now. You're teammates. So how do you feel about the new team, Fox Esports? Obviously owned by its eponymous owner. How do you reckon they're going to get on?
I think we set ourselves a straight goal, and that's break into the top 5, maybe top 3 in terms of the teams, and just stay consistent in terms of results and just keep building on that. Like, we don't know what happens in Melbourne, but we take it race by race and then just go from there.
Doesn't sound like a particularly outlandish approach. And obviously, we all know you got on very well at your last team, Magnus. So, new team this time around. Is it just a case of you pick up where you left off at the end of last season?
Basically, like, I hope so. Like, always my personal goals is to improve on overall results and also obviously the total points from last year. So I'm hopefully gonna score more points this year and see what happens, and hopefully grab a few more wins than I did last year. Hopefully a few more coming this year.
It would not surprise me. Well, old friend, we wish you all the best. Christian, do you have anything you want to add before we let you go?
No, pretty much what Magnus said about working as a team and then building on race per race and see how we get on.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure it's going to be great to see how the team gets on. I know the team owner, James, is going to be watching on with interest. So I know he's been doing this test too, and he seems to have gone slightly faster than both of you drivers as checkered flag has just come out. So yeah, last couple of laps just being set in. So thanks for talking to us, and yeah, best of luck to Fox Esports in the season to come.
Yeah, thank you.
All right then. Thank you for joining us, you two. Eric Brenner and Layla Petralia. Obviously, I asked Ed a question a bit earlier once he joined. Admittedly and objectively, obviously, quite big shoes to fill for the both of you. Magnus Hockenhagen and Joe Gillette, the 2 drivers that you're replacing, with Hunter Birch doing very, very well with them too in the previous 2 seasons. And obviously you two coming in as almost entirely rookies, obviously having not quite a lot of experience in GPWC. Obviously, Eric, you did FS1 with 100 to 1 and FS2 with RGS at the last 3 rounds. And Layla, you had a couple of one-offs with Venus Motorsports, but obviously one of the less experienced lineups on the grid. How crucial do you feel like the beginning of the season will be for you? Obviously, nobody's really expecting to reach the heights immediately that your predecessors reached, and I feel like, realistically speaking as well, you won't get them right off the bat, but obviously the beginning of the season is going to be crucial for you, and you're getting in time with the car.
It sounds like you're answering your own question, Lorenzo, if I may say so.
But I short you back to the past.
Gosh, oh, come on. No.
But TLDR coming in as an entirely fresh lineup with not a lot of experience. Where do you see yourself being within the first couple of rounds and by the end of the season? And how well do you feel like you'll perform by the end of everything?
Who do you want to answer first?
It doesn't matter really.
Okay.
I'm impartial.
I can just go ahead. Well, it's a fresh lineup, right? Both of us are still new to the team and to the league, and I think it's safe to say we won't be fighting for the championship right off the bat. We gotta be somewhat realistic. But I think that with the amount of training we have already done and the amount we're going to do, I think there are great possibilities for at least strong midfield. You know, we have done a lot of practice since last year over the course of the winter, and we're still pushing on, trying to get faster, both of us. And we're already seeing improvements, but I think for us to like give an estimate on where we're gonna be, I'd say at least midfield, maybe if we're lucky, maybe 10-9 something. At least for Melbourne, we will have to see where it takes us, but we have done a massive improvement so far, and yeah, that's basically what we're gonna do. We're gonna push hard and make sure we're gonna get where we want.
What about you, Layla? What do you say?
I mean, I'm really gonna be depending on this calendar. Obviously, I have some tracks where I'm absolute dog water and tracks where I'm pretty good at, but. Overall, I have my objectives, and Mr. Bossman knows them, so obviously I'm trying to go for the upper hand, but obviously results will tell, you know. So gonna try my best to get some high results and see how it goes.
Wise words.
Wise words indeed. And yeah, obviously you said you see yourself somewhere around the mid-pack at the beginning of the season and hoping to improve on that. I will bring up the fact that quite a lot of people, obviously due to your inexperience, don't see you two doing as well as you two are hoping for. Is there anything really that you feel like you can do to prove your doubters wrong?
Well, I think it's most of them don't really know us that well. We are still quite new. I think that's a contributing factor to the doubt, and I think it's also people making jokes and underestimating, which is like it's a public space. You can do what you want, but I will say that.
FS always has its fair share of banter.
Yeah. Fair. But I will say that I will do my best to make sure that underestimating me is not a good thing to do. I'm not threatening anyone, I'm just saying.
What do you say, Layla, to all of that?
I mean, as Eric said, like, people don't really know us as well as they know the other people in the grid, but I mean, I honestly have no regards. Like, I don't really care what other people say. I'm not that influenced by the others. I don't really care. But like, they can say whatever. It's not my problem. I will give the results I will give, and I'm like, I know some predicted HBS to be last this season, but
actions over words.
Oh, nobody told me that. They've been keeping it quite quiet. On my end.
I can send it to you, Edward.
Don't make names.
All right. Okay.
It's all really FS2 again. FS2 is a place with possibly the most banter in the entire league. So I did notice some jokes sent your way. Just don't take them too hard. Really, it's all in good fun. and hopefully your season goes in good fun as well, and we do hear more from you over the course of it. And before we let Eric and Layla go, Ed, is there anything you'd like to ask your own drivers, or do you feel like that's a conflict of interest?
I think it might be a conflict of interest, and also the
in that case,
plenty from me. So I'll just say thanks for coming, Eric and Layla, and best of luck for the season. And don't feel like you got anything to prove. Take it at your own pace, and I'm sure we will get to somewhere really competitive in the end.
I'm gonna try.
We're gonna try.
I know you will. That's why I picked you. Also because you wanted to be there.
But yeah.
Okay. Okay. We will awkwardly go now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Bugger off. We're done now.
Yeah.
Test is over.
Nah. Never mind. Let me just stay
I've
here.
heard the fun races are there.
Oh right.
I'm not doing that. I'm too tired.
Oh, that's you.
Okay, Lorenzo. Do you want me to go bowling?
No.
I feel Lorenzo's been rage baiting all three of us in this entire interview.
Yeah, literally. First you answer your
Don't
own
you know everyone
questions.
hates you, Ed?
First you answer your own questions, and then you go and say stupid stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's
usually me
preseason
that
testing,
answers
so
my
I
own
feel more
questions.
relaxed. Once Melbourne comes around, I'll be more serious.
Top 10 smartest Lorenzo moments.
Lorenzo
Let's not
brain.
talk about Mexico 2024.
Oh lord.
Oh.
Let's not talk about
no.
it as we bid farewell to
Okay,
Layla Petraeus.
let's not think about FS2 Mexico.
Exactly.
I wish I
As
didn't
we
have to
bid-
think about
as
FS2,
we-
but
As we
sadly.
bid farewell to Layla and Eric, thank you for joining this YouTube. But yeah, there's a lot
I'm
of
watching
people waiting
you,
for
Lorenzo.
interviews. Oh, Well, I'll be watching over you from the commentary booth.
Oh.
Don't worry,
Anyways,
I
there's
will
a lot of
shield
people
you from
waiting for
criticism.
interviews, so we have to shoot you
Knock
off.
your doors
Apologies.
tonight.
Yep. Right.
Thank you for joining us, you two.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay, I promised the McKenna pairing of Philip Chawinski and Juho Soppinen interview, so let's bring them in. Let's bring in Philip Chawinski and then his teammate Juho Soppinen. Juho and Philip, can you two hear us?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Nice, very nice. Right, Ted, I waffled on way too much in the Hunter Birch interview, so I'm leaving
We kind of
the
egged you on a
first.
bit, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm leaving the first question over to you.
Okay. Well, here's the McKenna. Is it McKenna Racing? I forget what the actual
McKenna
name of it is.
Motorsports.
Motorsport. Of course, it's a
Racing
alliterative.
Motorsports? I don't know.
No.
It's
Anyway,
Motorsports.
McKenna Racing.
It's great to be joined by the lineup of another new team. Of course, we got Philip, who has a history of some great results past couple of years in FS2, and Juho, who scored his first point for a certain Hunter Birch team last season, if memory serves, and is also impressed in his relatively short time with the team. So I guess Philip, as the driver with a little bit more experience, we'll start with you. Obviously, big decision to join a new team. I suppose you didn't really have a full-time drive until like the end of last season, didn't you? So you're getting back in, I guess, a little bit back into the swing of things. You always seem to be the sort of super sub that gets pulled up at the last minute and then really impresses. So having all this extra prep, is that going to make a big difference for you?
Well, it's obviously a big confidence boost not having to find a seat before the season, like having the pressure of, oh yeah, I need to do something really good at the preseason testing to actually impress someone and to give me a seat is relieving. And yeah, I can just focus on the season ahead and try my best.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that's what everyone's really, really excited about. Moving on to you, Juho. Obviously, relatively early on in your career, it's pretty early days, but you've already got a few points finishes under your belt. So clearly, again, you being signed, much like Philip said, that's a big vote of confidence in your abilities. Are you feeling excited about the season to come? Do you think you can do a few more giant killing feats, or is it more about slowly building up and just seeing where everything filters out as it goes?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I've a ton of confidence for this season. I mean, the car feels really great. It's like pretty much on
on flow, honestly, and possibly I could actually score some points. But I want to have like a great season, better than last year, since FS1 was pretty horrid, and then of
Well, we won't
course
talk about
FS2, yeah, but FS2
Didn't happen.
was FS2 was mediocre actually. So I hope to score points this season, and I think if I have like high expectancy, also I think at least a podium actually. But yeah, this will be such a interesting season because the field is pretty much closer together, and
I think it was within 2
obviously-
seconds all of the times in testing there, from first to
but
23rd.
but the actual top 5, at least top 6, was quite close to each other. But also, here's the main thing also about this new car. I mean, some people have criticized it, but in my opinion, it feels much more better than last year. Fits my driving style, to be fair.
Okay, so no excuses if things don't work out then.
Well, possibly excuses come, but I
Different
think- I
excuses,
think
okay. Not to do with the
different
car.
excuses. Yeah, exactly.
Ah, brilliant. Well, yeah, it's always lovely to talk to you and Philip as well. Lorenzo, I think now's the moment to bring you back in if you had any other questions or just discussion
do.
points you wanted to bring up. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, Philip, in relation to you, quite a lot of people tout you as one of the possible Drivers' Championship contenders alongside the Orbit folks and Cody and a couple of other drivers. But I've not seen many people suggest that you guys could be in the challenge for the Teams Championship. Obviously, Philip, I feel like you do have the confidence to put yourself in the talks for the Drivers' Championship, so that's really unnecessary to ask of. But do you two feel like if things go your way, you can be in the mix for that Teams Championship? And if you are, who do you see as your biggest contenders for that?
I mean, well, it would be a big task first of all to get the team's championship with the grid. Like for example, Orbit, they have a great lineup. It will be hard to beat them, but considering the history of the drivers, it could be possible that they have some difficulties throughout the season. And well, if there is an opportunity, I think we should take it, and we'll try our best to compete. And yeah, as I said, Orbit and maybe Mapes, with as they have Cody on the lineup. They are probably the main rivals if we are to get into a team's championship fight.
Not Fox, not someone like Emerald Overdrive.
I mean, I think.
Or Priority 1.
Yeah, I mean, Fox. Yeah, they'll be close. Like this could be a pretty close team's championship if everything goes right.
Yeah. What do you say, Yuho?
Oh, to be fair, I take the same words as Philip, but of course the Fox Esports lineup is pretty solid as well, and of course the Emerald Overdrive lineup is pretty good as well. But the main thing is try to now put as much laps in for the upcoming season. Try to also feel the confidence on the car, and also setup plays a really important key on the driving style as well. So I think if I can say we could be in the contention if I also practice a lot as well, and hopefully I would be in that mix too also if I have that big confidence boost, of course. But of course Philip is a really great driver. I am sure to learn from him a lot. So yeah, honestly, big opportunities for this season, and the season has just started with the preseason, and we've seen the pace of the others. But also, I want to get some data on how I can improve, because mostly I've done race laps, so I haven't really done quality. But what I can say is that I've had a bit of an improvement over last season.
Alright. Well, I personally don't have any more questions. Ed, do you have any questions?
I sort of did my questions the first go around, so. But anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Apologies to all involved. I'm kind of in a rush to join Amir in a touring car series. Is
this test as inconvenient for you as it is for me in my schedule?
Oh, well, in a way. But no, I love doing it, so I don't complain.
But anyway, thank you very much to McKenna Motorsport for joining us, and best of luck for the rest of the season to Philip Savinsky.
Racing.
Okay. Well, all right, we're changing the name mid-interview. Okay.
May I ask a question for? May I ask like an interesting question on the commentators as well?
Yeah, sure.
Who would you think that would be the biggest contenders for the title?
One specifically, or can I name multiple?
Edward.
Oh, right. Okay. I gotta remember who else we're competing with in FS2 this season. I think I've actually just been sent the sheet of predictions that various different people have made. I won't name them, but yeah, all 4 people who have been asked to put Hunter Birch at the very bottom in 16 out of 16 teams. I think we haven't talked about it much, but I think P1, Priority 1, is a pretty strong team. I think Craig runs a very tight ship there. I think Fox obviously has got my former driver who finished 4th in the points last season, Magnus Ockenhaug. I think he's going to be very, very strong. We talked a lot about Mapes and Orbit, and yeah, I think it's just a matter of making sure you've got a really good lineup that sticks with it the whole season, because if you chop and change, I think that creates a lot of instability. You saw it happen to Reading Game last season, didn't they, where they started off with a very strong lineup and it sort of, I don't want to say crashed and burned, but there were a lot of issues when they got to around about mid-season with both of those drivers. So yeah, I think that there's a long way to go, but I think we could see a couple of the minnows, hopefully our team, but maybe 1 or 2 others as well, spring some big surprises. But yeah, I think my big shout outs would probably be P1 and the other 3 teams that I mentioned.
All right, that's actually is a fair prediction from you.
Well, I'm not going crazy and saying we're going to win everything. And I don't think you guys are either, to be fair. No, all due respect. Although I think Philip will probably do quite well.
Let's see with my performances as well. But of course, Philip will be doing really great.
Yes.
All right.
What happens?
Yeah. Yeah, I promised already a couple of people to interview, so sorry to push you basically.
You let them
out
ask a question. What are you doing, Lorenzo? What is going on?
I don't want to be. Yeah, sorry, Fabian. We would have Fabian complaining. But yeah, moving on from you, thank you for joining us, Yuho and Philip. Hopefully we see more of you through the season. And let's be moving on to the next group of people, which is going to be Ben Skinner is going to be joining us alongside Cody Nikolatkowski, James Knox, and the currently deafened Gabriel Ramos. That's great always. Oh no, he's back. Can all 4 of you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a big interview.
Yeah, this is a big interview because I'm in a rush. I've left Amir alone to commentate a touring car league for an hour and a half.
Well, that's your fault.
It is. It really is.
Oh dear. Poor Amir.
Poor Amir. It's fine. I'll give him my share of money for this stream because of that. Or something. I don't know. Anyways,
right.
Who wants to answer a question first? Because I'm fairly impartial, really.
I volunteer James as tribute.
All right. Actually, no. You're the team owner, James. You go first. All right. A new entry on the FS2 grid, and from what I understand, you won't be driving FS2 this year, so it'll be only your team on the grid this year, and you have a very strong lineup with some, well, most people touting you as a potential team championship winner. Do you feel like your guys can get that done?
I think both drivers have the consistency to get the job done. I think it's just a matter of case of putting the effort in and getting those results that we need. I mean, my targets for them is certainly not to get the constructors, but I mean, if we can get maybe a top 3, I'll be very happy. But Yeah, I think they're more than capable. It's just whether how much effort they're willing to put in.
Going to you then, Ben, because you're the one who volunteered James to go first. Many people. Yeah, too bad, mate. You're getting a question. Well, a lot of people are putting you forward as one of the main contenders for the Drivers' Championship, and obviously, most people who've been asked, if not all of them, have put Orbit as the eventual team's championship at the end of the year. Do you feel like you have the quality to challenge the other people who've been suggested as potential drivers champions for that title, and do you feel like you and Casper can get the team's championship in your grasp by Interlagos?
Team championship is definitely doable. I feel like me and Casper have the strongest lineup combined. I mean, there's plenty of other teams with good strong lineups, but the ones to look out for are the ones with like a really good driver and then a midfield driver. So constructors, I think, is probably us if we don't lose our heads. Which I hope we don't lose our heads. I mean, I can speak for myself, but I don't know about Casper. In the drivers, I mean, it's gonna be difficult. I mean, we have Cody here, who's pretty good. I mean, for not having driven as much as me and Casper and others in the championship, and he's already like on our pace basically. I mean, it's not gonna be easy, but I'll back myself. I think I could potentially win if I don't throw it all away mid-season.
Yeah. And speaking of Cody, a question for you, obviously, coming into our Factor 2 completely new sim for you, and obviously we had in this league, we had real life drivers. We had Luke Browning at one point driving in the league back in 2018, but I think this is the first time we had an FIA gold medalist from the Motorsport Games competing in the league. So obviously a lot of hype around you, and you seem to be deservedly so living up to that hype. But obviously, again, a lot of people putting you forward as one of the main championship contenders. And do you feel like you can fulfill that, or you're just going to take every race step by step, get more accustomed to the sim, and then whatever happens, happens, really?
I would say that the latter option is what I'd be focusing on. So, one race at a time, trying to help out Samuel, because we're driving together in Mapes VO. So if we can leech off each other, he gets some tips from me, I can get some insight from him about the sim. We could maybe move forward together. Obviously, I understand that I'm coming into this with a lot of people thinking, oh, okay, he's a hot shot, he's gonna really take it to the top guys, but I must say that I'm pretty busy on other sims as well, so it's very much a whenever I get the opportunity to put time into this, that's when I'll really dedicate myself to practice. So not sure how much effort I can really give all the time, but I'll do my best, to keep Ben, keep Jonas, keep everyone that's at the front honest, so they don't run away with it.
I see. And we've been talking about you three, who are considered to be the front runners for this season. Gabriel, admittedly, coming into this season as quite a big rookie, only doing one round in Formula Sprint 2 beforehand at Singapore 2025. Chimera Racing Team, again, another new entry for 2026, apologies, into FS2, and a completely fresh lineup with you and Rafael Oahen. At PST today, not particularly probably as good as you would have hoped for, but do you think that you have what it takes to improve on PST now that you got a bit better and more time with the car, and really, where do you see yourself this season?
I gotta be honest, since I got the new setup in the last few laps of the PST, I started going consistently faster, but I just couldn't make it stick. So I think I really need to work on my consistency, but I think I could get somewhere high in the midfield for now.
Is there any questions for group here, Ed, that you have any of them, really?
Well, I was going to say hello to James Knox, Fox Esports team principal, or as I call him, driver thief. But nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Anyway, Magnus goes over my blessing. But also, I was going to ask Gabriel about. I think it's Chimera, isn't it? The name of the team.
Yeah, Chimera. Yeah.
So named after the monster, fire-breathing monster from Greek mythology.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
it's our logo.
All right. Okay. So it's the two-headed goat thing.
Yeah, basically.
Ah, okay. Let's see if it starts breathing fire on track as well. But, hopefully the good kind and not the engine failure kind. Anyway, yeah, that's it. This has been going on long enough. These good people have given us their time. Let's not.
So no
hold them
questions
up any
for
longer.
anyone?
Well, I just had some statements I wanted to say. Hello, Ben.
Oh, well,
Hello,
oh,
Cody, and
actually-
best of luck, Cody, as our newcomer. I did think it was interesting when Cody said he was going to leech off of Samuel, which sounded vaguely parasitic, but I know what he meant. It's just a bit of an odd way to phrase it.
I'm trying to find my way with words while having a bit of fun with these guys in the test races, so excuse
no, it's
my
fine,
English.
It's fine. No, it's not, nothing bad at all. It's just kind of funny to me.
Yeah, but we'll see.
So, as someone who speaks English as a second language, I can very much relate to you. Especially seeing as we come from the same region, really, of Europe. But before we let you go, actually, I do have one short question for all four of you, and then you can really adjust yourself as to who's going to answer what one. Who do you expect to win the Drivers and Teams Championship? And you can't say yourselves.
Then I have no answer. I mean, I think it's between Cody and Ben, honestly. For the drivers.
What do you guys say?
Personally, I would say
Comment?
Ben has got this. He's just got the outright pace compared to everyone else here, and he really does spend a lot of time perfecting the setups that he excels in. So, if he's putting all his time and effort into this, it's going to be a big ask to put up any sort of challenge, no matter who's driving. He's really dedicated to this championship, and that's something that's nice to see from a driver.
Well, I'm gonna have to throw it back at you and say Cody, because you're a very decorated driver, and I mean I look up to people who are like the best at their craft, and you seem to be pretty good. So I am 100%. I know you will be you'll become better than me throughout the season. Like you have such a high skill ceiling compared to most people in the series. So yeah, you'll for sure rise past everyone at some point. It's just a matter of time.
What do you think, James? You're the only one who hasn't spoken yet.
No comment. This is going to be. I'll say no comment when I start speaking, but yeah, I think it's going to be a fight between Cody and Ben this season. They're both incredibly quick drivers, and I can't really point fingers and say specifically who it's going to be, but I feel like it's going to be between those two for the championship. And as for the teams, again, it's so competitive this season. You're never really going to know what's going to happen. And I mean, I put my money on Orbit, but that can always change. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'd like to see my own team as high up as possible as well, but I think we've got to be realistic as well and realise that Orbit do have a very strong lineup this year. So yeah, game on.
Yeah, no one has mentioned the teams championship. Everyone else has only talked about the drivers one.
It's the exciting
That's the
part.
one. That's the one that James has got a stake in. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's also true.
Very true. Sure. So yeah.
All right then. Yeah, I think that's everything we could have asked really from all of you. So thank you to all four of you really for joining us here today at the preseason testing and near an interview booth, and I do hope we see more of all four of you throughout the season.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
Thank you.
letting us be part of the interview.
Alright, as we send off our four last interviewees of tonight. I think it's about time we wrap it up, Ed.
No arguments from me.
Yeah, it's gone to a point where Amir's messaged me a minute ago saying there's 10 minutes left in the last race, you don't need to come. So apologies to Amir if he...
You've kind of created your own problem.
I have
honest.
indeed. I have. I'm not afraid to admit it. But if Amir's watching this back later, sorry mate.
I'm sure he'll forgive you. I mean, I do, but I don't really care in the first place, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're not Amir, you're Ed.
That's true. I mean, it would probably make more sense if Amir was here, but that's the way it's worked out. It is only pre-season testing.
Yeah,
and of course we still got the forever tiers to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. FS1 with me presumably joining halfway through Yvonne. Yeah, I guess someone else will have to. Maybe Amir can help out next week and make up for not being here this week or having to dip early.
Yeah.
And then we got Super Lights and Super League to come, which should be very exciting as well.
Just let me check when exactly. Broadcast schedule. We have Paul Ricard posting Super Lights in a week's time, followed by Heref in 2 weeks' time hosting Formula Sprint 1, and then on the 26th we have Yonggam, aka Korea International Circuit, hosting Super League. So keep your eyes peeled out on that. I most certainly will have my eyes out for Formula Sprint 1, seeing as I run my own team there.
Oh yeah, that's going to be interesting, commentating your team again, Lorenzo.
And you'll see a familiar face there as well, in James Juba.
Of course.
So yeah, I'm quite hopeful for that as well. But yeah, as many of our interviewees here, they said, we're not gonna toot my own horn much, and not gonna.
It is a good way to extend this broadcast even further, if that's your aim here.
Yeah, we need to wrap it up. We need to wrap it up.
Aren't you so great, Lorenzo? Gee, I agree. Let's move on.
Let's end it. Anyways, thank you to everyone who stayed around for this long and listened to mostly me, but also to an extent Ed and Amir waffle. Thank you obviously to Fabian for being on cameras for this long, and sorry again for keeping you up this long. Thank you to you, Ed, for joining me after Amir had to leave. Thank you to Amir in the first place for joining me. Thank you to everyone who drove here today, and thank you to everyone who watched this today. And we do hope to see you on March 3rd for the first round of Formula Sprint 2 in 2026 at Melbourne. I've been Lorenzo Eterovic-Funcic, joined by both Amir Oates and Ed Hunter on commentary, and Fabian Jungbluth on cameras, and thank you. That's all I can say, really. Thank you.